Everyone wants more money, but most of us weren't taught how to create an abundant life. That's where the More Money Show comes in. If you're ready to have more money, create more freedom, and experience more fun, turn the volume up. It's time to learn how to create the prosperity and life you have been dreaming of. Here's your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome to this episode of More Money. I have back with me Rebekah Zink. I'm so excited to talk to her today. Welcome, Rebekah.
Hi, Cassie.
Hi. I'm going to lead with this as always. Tell me something awesome, or like 100 awesome things if you have 100.
I mean, I have 100 awesome things. Probably the most awesome thing though that I'm most excited about is my client. She told me today after we implemented a new strategy for her in September, she told me that her sales numbers for US only books in September surpassed the entirety of her sales across the globe in August, which is just like amazing to hear. Like, yes, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes.
It's working.
So awesome. I love it. Yeah. So exciting. Yeah, that is a great thing.
I know.
Awesome. I love it. All right. So I want to start with this story because I love how it, obviously I love how it worked out. But something, was that like a month ago? What?
Yeah, August.
Okay. So August, you're like, I remember.
Oh, I could never forget.
Right? So in August, did you get a phone call or an email?
It was an email.
Okay.
Which was the worst part because it was supposed to, the people I do freelance work for sent me an email saying that they wanted to cut my hours, which would cut my pay. They wanted to cut it in half effective immediately. And it was like August 20th. Like, I did not have time for this. Rent needs to be paid in 10 days. Like, you know, the whole thing. And, you know, I kept trying to like work around it. Like, you know, I just don't understand. Like, why are you doing this? You know, you still need me to do the work. So why would you cut my hours? Because then the work won't get done. Like, I tried everything and they would not budge. They just wouldn't budge. And I could not understand it. So yeah, and then I went to you, like totally freaking out on a Monday call, like,
yeah,
I don't know what to do. I can't pay my rent.
Right, like, and it was not like, you're good. It's a justified freak out, right? Like, I mean, all freakouts are justified, but you're like, literally, this is like half, this is what I pay my rent with. And and there was no warning, right?
No, it was literally effective immediately. And I was like, well, first off, I'm already halfway through my hours. So to keep working, I'm going to need to go onto my hourly. And they're like, we have to talk about that. And I'm like, well, then I'm not going to work. Like, I'm not going to do free work. You have to pay me. And they like just would not budge. I could not figure it out. Sorry.
You're good. Yeah. So you went from freaking out and really like distraught in a very real, like, it's okay. Like that's what happened. You need to pay your rent, right? Like, that's serious, right? And then, what's happening now?
Okay, so what had happened back then was I did the math and I realized that if they took me off of my guaranteed retainer amount, but wanted me to work the same hours, they'd be paying me so much more than what they were paying me. So it just like didn't make sense. So I went to my boss and I brought that to him and I was like, we can do it this way. We can totally do it this way. But I'm just letting you know, I've been with you guys for a year and a half. I was the fourth employee here. Like, you guys would just be paying me a ridiculous amount of money.
Right.
And he was like, oh, you're right. Okay, fine. So we'll go back to the guaranteed amount of money every month. So I got what I wanted, but then I got more than that because they ended up needing more hours from me anyway. Right. So I got my retainer amount for the month, which pays my rent, utilities, and groceries. And then I'm also getting an extra, like, so far right now we're at $330, but the month is not over.
Yes.
So
that's
it
amazing.
could end up being more than that, but it's an extra $330 that they're giving me. So
yeah, it's amazing.
It is amazing. I went to not being able to pay my rent to getting an extra $300.
Yes, which is awesome. And wasn't there a point in the middle where they said like, no, we're definitely cutting your hours in half or something? Like,
Yeah. At
like,
one point, they wanted to cut my responsibilities and my actual hours in half. And it was like, I don't know why.
yeah. And we remember, I mean, do you remember what I said to you?
You said so many things. So many helpful, amazing things. Remind me which one.
I know, right? I think it was definitely likely to feel like part of it was feeling the feelings, because this felt like it came out of nowhere, right?
Oh, completely. Like
this
I
is
literally
not
woke
fair.
up one day and there was this email saying we're cutting your pay and your hours in half.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we definitely talked about feeling it, and then being open to, okay, there's another way this can be taken care of, right? Like, it's just to stay open to the fact that this doesn't have to mean I don't have rent money. Like, there can be other possibilities, right?
Yeah. And there were little things that came up like during that period of time too. Like, sometimes I art model and it's, it's $70 for doing it cash. And like, I got a gig during that time period. And so it's like, it showed up in other little ways while I was like going through that process. But then like at the end of the process, it like resulted in this huge like thing, and not even just with this company, it resulted into this huge thing. Like I also got the announcement from my client, I'm signing in a new client, another client is paying me extra to do other work for her, like it just like all circled around.
All circled around, right? It all happened like it was. And I think that was one of the other things we talked about, is like, just make sure to like, because when people get in a situation like this, I think it's like, oh, I have to get half my rent like from one source. And it's like, no, be open. Like, cause I think what else happened is like your rent got lowered by $25.
It did. Right? My rent did get lower.
Which we celebrated that $25 like it was half your rent, right? Because
and it's every month. Like it's not like it's like not a one-time thing. Like it's always going to be this way. So.
Yeah, which is awesome. And so, so like, and I think what I want our listeners to hear is like, it's possible even when it looks like it's going to be crappy, like stay open, like count it, like feel the feelings, and it worked out better. And I truly believe sometimes things have to break apart to bring in more money. Always, right?
I completely, 100%, like 120 million percent. I totally believe in the whole, like, sometimes things seem a little worse before they actually get a million times better. So it always works out.
It totally always works out. Oh, I love it. So good. Okay. So let's talk about, so you did the workshop last weekend.
I did do
the first time.
Last weekend for the first time.
What's your overall feeling like? Yeah, just tell us about it.
Oh my God, it was amazing. I wasn't sure what to expect. And I'm someone who likes to know, like, before I go to a restaurant, I look at the menu. Like, I love surprises, but I don't like those kinds of surprises.
Right.
And so, I just like, I didn't know what to expect. And I was like, how many people are there going to be? How much am I going to have to talk? Like the whole thing, like anxiety through the roof. And then like I got there and it was just so like easy.
Oh, I love it.
It just felt so good. And I was just so excited every day. Like I know when I like the whole thing when it started was I'm on East Coast time. I didn't realize you were on Mountain time. So then like I show up at 10 a.m. Eastern, 2 hours early, like and ready to go. Yeah. Because I couldn't sleep the night before. I was so excited. But it was great. It was really, really great. And like, I really did feel like so clear and grounded and like I've been flying high all week. Like,
yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting. So tell us, I love instant manifestations, which happen so often in the workshop. Like, I know, that's so fun, right? I know.
So pretty good at it outside of the workshop. Yeah. Like, if I want that subway seat, I'm getting that subway seat. But like, it is so interesting to see the difference between like when you're in your energy, the types of
Mhm.
manifestations versus when you're in your energy and the energy of other people. Because the
Yeah.
manifestations are almost like higher. Like they're
Yes,
more
they
than what I would
are.
expect or more than what I would try to manifest. And it's just, I don't know, it's just so interesting.
It's so fun. I mean,
Yeah.
let's talk about like literally even it was after one session you started manifesting stuff off of this
Everything.
everything. I know
Everything. I'm like, I manifested money for dishes. I manifested more money. I manifested, I feel like there's more that I manifested.
yeah. So
I feel like
let's
I'm
talk.
always manifesting.
You are always manifesting. And it would be like we get back on the call and you're like, oh, which I want you to tell this story because I think people think I love to tell stories where like literally things just sort of the closest to fall out of the sky as possible. And so talk about the dog making money like on the
Oh.
dog.
Oh yeah, okay. So I didn't know my neighbor had a dog, and the first night, the first night of the first night of the workshop, I run into her in my neighbor in the hall, and she has this dog with her, and this adorable dog that like I would totally have this kind of dog, and she was like, "Oh my God, you want dogs, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I like pet sit, house sit, the whole thing." And she was like, "I'm in a bind. Can you please walk my dog? I'll pay you $15." And I was like, "Sure, when?" And she was like, 3:00 tomorrow, which is right in the break time for the workshop.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "Yeah, no problem." Like, yeah. And she was like, "Okay, great. I'll leave the key under the mat, like, and I'll Venmo you." And I'm like, "Okay, great." And so yeah, I like went and I was able to walk this dog that I adore, that I didn't know existed, but would totally be a dog I would have. And
Right?
I got an extra $15 just like walking a dog. Like,
Right.
my
Walking your
neighbor's
dog.
dog. It's like, and we live off a dog park, so it's like
Oh,
literally a block away. Like,
that's so awesome.
there's an extra 15.
Yeah. And it's so fun because those are my favorite when they just like, literally you're like, how did that even happen? Right? Like,
Yeah.
and it was
I didn't
perfect
even know she had
timing.
a dog.
That's my favorite part.
I know, me. Like, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. So cool. So like another thing, we ended up scripting, you scripted game night, right? We had talked about game night, right? And you were scripting it. And then tell us what happened with your roommates.
I like ran into one of my I adore both my new roommates like to pieces. We get along so well. Like,
Awesome.
it's like we're making this a home, which is what I've always wanted, and it's part of
Yes.
my whole like manifestation thing of like being in a home. And it's also a 2-bedroom apartment, which is something that I also manifest. So it's like a home in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yes. Future self.
Right, exactly. So I live in a 2-bedroom apartment that's been turned into a 3-bedroom, but so I ran into one of my roommates, and we were talking. She's like, all three of us haven't had like a night together. We should plan a game night. And I was like, Naomi, you should say that. So yeah.
I love it. I love it.
It was just like so out of the blue because like I was sitting on my computer like working or whatever. Maybe I was scripting, like I was like just at my computer and it was nighttime, and she just comes in and like she's like, "We should plan a game night," and I'm like, "Yeah, we should."
Yeah, we should. Thank you for helping me live my future self.
Right, exactly. Like I didn't even have to do anything. I didn't approach them. Like she approached me.
Magic of scripting.
It really is. Like since I started scripting, everything's been approaching me.
I love it.
I can't say no. I know. Like like one of the things that I was scripting in the workshop was like, this is 5 years from now. I'm an actress. I get stalked on the street because I get recognized.
Mm-hmm.
The second night of the workshop, I got stopped in the street. Not because someone recognized me. They wanted to actually just like take me out on a date, which is a whole other thing I've been scripting. But yeah, so I got stopped in the street for that. Part of my scripts, I have my imaginary husband in there that I'm currently manifesting. And all of these like guys in my life have been like coming forward and they just have like so many of the qualities that I've been writing about.
Yes.
And like to the point of this one guy who's super smart, reads, likes to cook, like the whole thing, super sweet, always pays for dinner, like the whole thing, free food. That's something else that I've been manifesting.
Yes.
Like the other night he told me that he's always thinking of ways to reward and celebrate me. Like, what kind of 24-year-old guy says that?
Right?
But I manifested it, so they're saying it.
They're saying exactly. You're being the person who receives it, and so they're saying it.
I know. It's amazing. It's amazing, especially involving other people. Like,
that is awesome. And I
feel
love,
like a magician.
Right?
Yeah,
Like what scripting is like, huh?
I'm just creating this stuff and it's happening.
Like instantly.
Wild. Yeah. Literally within a day. Like, it's
so fun.
crazy.
Yeah. And so part of like at the end of the workshop, we talked about like there's a situation and you had to say no to something, right?
Yes.
Oh my
God. This is one of my favorite stories.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
Okay. So there's this author that I met at a conference who, like, we get along really well. I like, we get along really well in some respects, but at the end of the day, like, I just don't feel like our vibes like work. And they've been like on and off emailing me for months, like since May. And I'm always like super nice, super friendly, like the whole thing, but I keep like finding ways to like not meet up for drinks with them and stuff because they're based in New York, which is the city. And so finally, after doing this for like 5 months, I just like, okay, fine. Like, I helped you out with this thing. They wanted to take me out for a drink as a thank you. And I was just like, okay, fine. Like, then that way they won't get to they won't like keep emailing me for another few months because I like gave it,
Yeah.
And I was just like dreading it. Like, I did not want to go at all. But I just felt like I should do this. And then when I brought it to you, you're like, okay, but like, why would you go if you don't want to go? And I'm like, you're right. I know you're right. You are 100% right. I don't want to go, so I'm not going to go. And you like totally like helped me like really, because, I was raised to be nice. Even my mom says, like, I'm sorry I raised you so nice. Like, I'm a nice person. So I don't always listen to what I want.
Right.
And I don't always put my foot down the way I need to put my foot down. And so like you helped me really like put my foot down, but in a friendly way. Like, hey, I'm sorry. I don't have this in my schedule. I just don't have the time right now. Thank you. Call it even. See you later. Like, and so, I did that. I still haven't gotten a response back, which is like a win for me. Right.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like I don't have to deal with it. It's done. But then out of nowhere on, this was on Tuesday night. Keep in mind, I'm booked like a week in advance. I never have night offs. Like,
right. And Tuesday was when you were supposed to go to the drinks.
And Tuesday when I was supposed to go to the drinks thing. And I like canceled like Monday at 11 p.m. Like by the time I got around to sending the email, it was late. And so Tuesday rolls around. I'm like, oh, I have a night in. This never happens. The whole thing. My one acting friend who, like, first off, I've always thought was super cute. And we get along really well. I know. And they I know, right? I'm like just manifesting.
Just manifesting.
Just manifesting central over here. He texts me and he's like, hey, I have an extra ticket to this opening night of this like critically raved about play with these like actors in it, like, award-winning actors. Do you want to go? It's like 5:30 at night. I'm in my pajamas, no makeup, hair's like messy bun, like, and I'm like, what time? And he's like 7:00. I know, 5:30 at night, 7:00. It'll take me 40 minutes to get there. So I'm like, I have to leave at 6 p.m. So I have 30 minutes to get ready. I will be there. I will meet you at the end. And he's like, great, I'm so excited you can come. I haven't seen you in forever, like the whole thing. So I like get dressed up. It's opening night on Broadway, like, the whole thing.
So amazing.
And so I know. And so I go, and when we get there, he's like, I can't believe how many like Broadway stars are here. He's like, there's never this many like stars, like they've got the red carpet, like the whole thing. And he's like, this never happens. And I'm like, well, it does when I'm around.
Right? This is how I roll.
Right, exactly. And they had the interviewers, like the whole thing. So we went to the opening night of this play that had all of these award-winning actors in it. And it was an absolutely breathtaking play. Like, it was like mesmerizing and like super smart and just like powerful. Like, some of the scenes I was like basically in tears. Like, it was just an incredible like masterclass in writing and acting. Like, it was unbelievable. So it was just like, it just kind of like renewed my own like feelings about acting. And like, really, you know, I met with an agent on Monday night, and then I'm meeting with another one tomorrow. And like, after seeing this play and just seeing like what you can do, it's like really helped transform like my own monologues and acting and like the whole thing. So like, this one monologue I usually do for agents, like I did the Katsugan thing that you taught us at the workshop. Yes. And like really took the feelings that I had from that play, like of the energy and like the emotion and the rawness of it. And like the two together with this monologue that I do, it's just like, bam, it's just like a powerhouse thing. So I'm like super, super excited because I had this amazing experience with someone that I really enjoy. And it was just like evidence all around, just like,
so much evidence.
So like it was entirely evident. Like, the entire experience was evidence. Last minute Broadway play. I don't go to the theater. The last play I went to was 5 years ago. Like, I do not go to the theater. I know. I don't. Yes. I just don't go.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, I got to dress up, walk down like the red carpet next to the actual red carpet. But like, it was close enough. And yeah, it was amazing. It was just amazing.
So awesome. I love it. And isn't it so fun to like, I don't know, I feel like after you start scripting, like counting the evidence is even more, because you're like, ooh, there's a little piece and there's a little piece and there's a little piece.
Yeah, it's like they piggyback off of one another. And I've seen it before. You know, it's like I'll find a penny one day and then 3 hours later I'll find a quarter. And like I'll see like little things.
Yeah.
But like literally the night of the workshop through now, it's just like everything is like, it's like a snowball.
Yes.
It's like getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so which just like amps my energy. I'm like,
right?
Yeah.
Bring it.
And it's also just like, well, what's next?
Yeah.
Like, what's next? Like, you know, I have this amazing way to do this monologue, and I'm meeting with like a pretty decent agent tomorrow. Like, what's next? You know, like, I had the one client with her sales. Like, okay, I have 3 other clients.
Yes. How does that change? Because I can see it. Like, there's more confidence. Like, I wouldn't have said you were not confident before.
I know what you mean.
but you can feel it, right? It's changed. Like, because the snowball and the script, like, okay, cool. Like, this is happening, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. The scripting really does kind of help though, because like I'm a very visual person. And so I need to be able to see things.
Yeah.
And so like seeing things and then also being able to implement some of those things, it has made a huge difference. Like one of the things in my script was to have like my own separate office.
Yes.
And so when we talked about like, well, how can we like act as if, you know, to bring this into your life, so you're like working in the energy. And I said like, oh, I guess I could sit at the like kitchen table and work on only the things I would work on as my future self, being the CEO of a company and being a famous actress. And so, you know, I've started to do that, and I'm so much more efficient. And like, like the time I spend at my kitchen table working on what I'm working on, it's like I can do twice as much in half the time compared to when I was just working at my desk. I reserve my desk for my freelance work.
I love it.
And so, like, just little things like that. Or like I sit on the couch in my living room with my coffee every morning, which I didn't used to do, but that's something I want to do, you know, like, and so it's just like, yeah, it's just even something like the coffee in the morning, just sitting on the sofa. It's like, yeah, like this is me. Like I start my day. This is how I start my day. I enjoy myself. Like, and it's just,
Yeah.
it's just amazing. It's just
Oh
amazing.
my, love it. So what are you excited about right now?
Oh my God, Cassie.
I know. I'm like, I gotta ask these questions, but like, yeah.
What am I excited about now? I'm just so excited for like the opportunity. Like I can just feel it.
Yes.
I could just feel it. It's like, it's kind of how I felt with my monologue for the agents before I like hit this like realization where it's just like, I feel what it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't reach it.
Yeah.
Right now, I just feel like very similar to the opportunity. Like I see the opportunity, I feel the opportunity, and it's like on its way to me. I don't need to reach for it because it's on its way to me.
Yes.
And so it's just great because I like can really just like live in the energy that I have and like, do what I want to like amp it.
Yes.
But like at the end of the day, like I just know more opportunities are going to be coming. And since it's been a week and I've had all these other opportunities, I can't even imagine what's next.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Awesome.
I know.
Oh, I cannot wait for next time.
I know. Me
Right?
neither. I'm like,
so many awesome things are gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like everything's going to happen, and then the next call, I'm going to be like, I can't even. We don't have the time to go over
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So fun. Well, tell everybody how to connect with your media company if they're an author who's like, yeah, I want like so many of those sales, like.
Because I have not seen that number of pre-orders for a book before in a really long time. Like
that's amazing.
I know. It's like no one gets like over, this number of pre-orders in a month. Like that just like doesn't happen. So yeah, I'm like so excited for her.
Yay! Very cool. Yeah. So tell everybody how they can get that goodness if they're an author.
You can get that goodness. You can get my goodness. And also, if you just want to be friends, I love new friends. You can find me pretty much everywhere. I'm the entire first page of Google. My name is Rebekah Zink, REBEKAHZINK.
Love it.
My media company is Rebekah Zink Media, so that's just my first and last name with media.com. Yeah, find me. Like it's so easy.
Right? Find me.
Add me on Instagram, friend me on Facebook, shoot me an email. I am yours.
I love it. Oh, I'm so excited for you. And yeah, thank you for taking the time out of your day to share all your goodness with us.
I just want everyone else to like live in the goodness. And like, that's something that really does make a difference. If you live in that energy, it's great. Yes. But if you like live in other people's energy like that, like it's also like 10 times greater. So it's just, like, oh God, yeah.
I love it. And so you heard it from Rebekah, like go live your goodness with other people around and spread that.
And really like cut out the people who do not serve you, because like the minute you cut that dead weight, it's like the author thing. It's like you immediately open space for you, for your present self, for your future self, like, and that's what you want to spend your time with. Like, cut the dead weight.
I love it. Well, make sure everyone to come back and listen to Rebekah's next interview to catch up on all of the awesome that happens between then and now. Thank you, Rebekah, and thank you everyone for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you for joining us on The More Money Show. To learn how to identify your current money story, go to identifyyourmoneystory.com.